So what'd you do on vacation?
Went to Tennessee. Stayed in a...
All right.
I stayed in a tree house. Oh, you want to hear something else? Well, we stopped.
That's cool.
The first day in South Carolina. Just to stop in South Carolina. We didn't do anything special there. Because we just wanted to break up the trip. It was like it's like a 9.5 hour, 10-hour trip, something like that. So we just went to South Carolina, stayed there, and we stayed in what was it called? I can't even remember the name of the place we stayed, but we'll never go there again. Like we go swimming in the pool, and it's pretty gross. Yeah, it's one of those.
Tell us how you really feel, Justin.
And then
don't hold back.
And then I go ahead and we put the boys in bed. That's late. Like, it's real late, okay? Because we had to go out afterwards, and we had to get Toby, like, a life jacket, because he's still learning how to swim and everything. And so we didn't get back till, like, real late. The boys we get them all ready to go, put them in bed. We lay down. It's like 10:30 now, We open up our bed, and we lay in it, and then Faye's like, what's that smell? And I was like, I'm pretty sure it's not me. I just took a shower. It wasn't me. There's freaking urine in our bed.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's really gross.
That's gross.
Yes, we changed rooms. And so about 11 o'clock at night, we're like switching rooms up to the second. We had to go to the second freaking floor. Okay? Take all of our stuff, our sleeping kids, go up to the second floor. It was so frustrating. And Faye wrote and I went to the lady afterwards and I said, I told her up there, and then the next day I go, you guys need to do something about this, because this is unacceptable that I go into a bedroom and I go into a room and one of the beds has urine in it. It's unacceptable. And then she's like, well, we'll have I'll have my manager call you and everything like that. We never called. He emailed us. He said, well, we examined the bed and there were no signs of urine. I was like, you friggin' turd, you. You are a freaking turd. And he said, what probably happened was it was a discharge from the AC unit that we did some maintenance on it, and it discharged and it landed on your bed. And I go, that is the biggest load of crap I've ever heard in my entire life. You're telling me that your AC unit discharged a urine-type smell onto my bed that I was sleeping in.
What he's saying is that the AC unit peed on your bed. The robots, they're uprising. The machines are going to get us. It's maximum overdrive. That's
which is everybody knows is the fourth head of the seven-headed dragon. Okay, it's the fourth head of the seven-headed dragon.
That fourth head is the air conditioner urinates on your bed. That's how you know. You're looking for the 7 signs, the 7 heads of the dragon. Number 4, the air conditioner urinates on the bed.
There it is.
That's what it is.
Solved the mystery. The guy messages back. He's like, "But in the spirit of being nice or whatever. I don't know. I'm like, but we'd like to for your inconvenience. We like to give you a 20% discount." And Faye was like. And Faye goes,
20%.
Oh, no, he didn't. And so she got on there and she wrote him a nasty letter and everything like that. And he's like, well, no, we examined it. There are no urine stains on the bed. It was just this. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, you made me, first of all, I'm not sleeping in that. It's like real deep ammonia smell. I'm like, I'm not sleeping in a bed like that, number one. Obviously, you guys didn't even check the beds before I even got there. And so you're just going to say 20%, knock it off? I'm like, you know what? Unacceptable. Faye wrote a nasty letter back. He's like, we'll give you another 10%. And so she is, the end of our trip, she's going to go to town on these guys. She's very upset. So, yeah.
She's livid, huh?
For everything else, I was like, that was the beginning of our trip. But everything else, dude, so smooth.
Nice
so
start.
Awesome. We were in this, it's like a luxury treehouse. Didn't have any AC, but it was gorgeous. The boys slept up in a loft. It was so great. All right, it was the coolest thing in the world, and that was in Gatlinburg. Walked up and down Gatlinburg. That little drive there. It's like the I-Drive of Gatlinburg. That's basically what it is. Mm-hmm. Went up there, and then the next night we went to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and stayed in gorgeous gorgeous cabin. It was absolutely beautiful. It was amazing. Had a hot tub. Oh, so nice. So nice. I kind of do. Part of me kind of doesn't. I don't really want to own one. But I don't mind using somebody else's and then leaving. You know? I love it. I love the hot. I like the hot feeling.
I just can't handle it.
Nah, man, it's not too hot. It's perfect. Yeah, you get used to it after a period of time.
Nah, it's just too hot.
It was good, man. So yeah, we didn't see any bears in live. Like we didn't see any like Faye was like, I really want to see a bear like around here, and I go, no, you don't.
Walking around Pigeon Forge.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, I do. I was like, no, you don't, because if we see a bear, we're pretty much dead. Okay, that's it. You know, like we don't want to see a bear. We're gonna die.
Now you can both outrun your children, so you just start running, and then the kids get eaten.
Yeah,
and the bear's busy eating the kid, so you survive. You can make another.
That's
kid.
true. I can. There's like this part of me. It's called like a fatherly instinct that. Yeah, I would much rather die, okay, like run up and tackle the bear than be on this podcast going, hey guys, I had a dad fail this week. I let a bear eat my kids. Yeah, that right there.
Why can't the bear that you guys come across be like a cute, cuddly bear, like a koala bear?
First of all, koala bears are not cute and cuddly. And neither are panda bears.
And cuddly, but they're not nice.
They're extremely violent and aggressive.
Mean.
They're both, and so are panda bears too. They're both like.
Have you watched any videos of koalas fighting? It's hilarious. It's so funny.
So just stay away from bears in general. Let's just do that, okay? So we didn't see
koalas are super.
We didn't see any. Are they?
Okay. Yeah, they're not bears. Very, very irritating. All of my children's books lied to me. Justin.
Bunch of tools. So we didn't see any bears live in person, but we did go and pay to see some bears in captivity. Rescue bears. We call them rescue bears.
Were you at a zoo?
No. It was a general store that had all these bears. I'm not even a lie, dude. It's not even a lie. Right next to a Pancake's house. Right next to a Pancake's house. They're like, all these bears. I'm like, there's like 5 bears in there, man. I was like, you got all these black bears in here, and inside you're selling like those little guns that you pull it like that, and a cork pops out the front. Yeah, seriously, that's the place I was in.
Did you get any of those for the kids?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm
worried about
a mean dad. I'm a mean dad. So yeah, it was kind of weird, but yeah, we got pancakes and we went and saw live bears right next door. That's basically what we did.
Pancakes and bears, man. Now that's a vacation.
Yeah.
Pancakes, bears, tree houses, and urine beds. That is a vacation if I've ever heard of.
Yep. So, Martin, on the pre-show, Miss Alyssa Folk, right now her name, it's Alyssa Folk Candelaria. Wait. It's her name. Her last name is now Candelaria. Okay, she's married.
So Alyssa.
Yeah, her name is Alyssa. I think she goes by Alyssa Marie Candelaria, or it might be Alyssa Folk Candelaria. But that last name is so cool, so cool. All right.
So Alyssa.
Yeah. So Alyssa wanted to know what you and I thought about a preacher getting his MBA.
What do you think?
I want to know what you think, Martin, because I already talked about it a little bit.
Does the preacher already have a theological degree?
I don't know. I'm sure. I have no clue. I'm guessing yes, he does. Mm-hmm. Most preachers do have some type of theological degree. Typically.
Yeah, well, they might.
Right.
They might not. You never know these days, feller. Come on, all kinds.
True.
I think that an MBA can be helpful. I think that you should probably get a theological education first. MBA,
it stands for, it's Master's of Business, right?
Yeah, Business Administration.
Okay,
yeah,
Master's.
And generally, it's how to run businesses. They're usually leadership degrees. You can get specializations in whatever particular field that you're in. If you're a preacher and you're getting an MBA, you're probably focusing on leadership or maybe nonprofit leadership, something like that. if you're a preacher, you should get the theological degrees first, and then you should, if you feel it necessary, go and get.
Let's go with the guy has a Bachelor of Arts, in something, that his bachelor's degree is in something theological.
I think that if you got a bachelor's degree in something theological, if you're going to get a master's, you should probably go get your MDiv.
Yeah.
You should probably get a master's in theological studies or a master's of divinity. And the reason for that is that there's how well prepared do you think you were for ministry after getting your bachelor's degree?
Oh, not at all.
Not at all. Okay. I think you were prepared to the extent that you... Look, we both went to the same college. Mm-hmm. And I think that the college that we went to, we went through the same program, right? You were a preaching major, right?
We were a BA, right? You had BA?
Yeah, with Bachelor of Arts
in preaching, yeah.
Right? Yeah. When we were finished, we had a lot of very general knowledge about preaching. So we knew some very general stuff. We knew how to construct a sermon. We knew how to essentially get our feet wet in vocational ministry. And we were specifically trained in how to do preachery kind of stuff. But it was very, very general. It was just opener stuff. And that's what a bachelor's degree
very
is.
Vague. I'd say it was very vague.
Right.
Yeah.
But and then when you have that, you have very general information on what's going on. So there's a whole lot more in Christianity that's available to you education-wise when you go to the graduate level. So I think we had a good education for what it was, a bachelor's degree in preaching. I think it's perfectly acceptable. I think that they gave us what we asked them for, which was get our feet wet on what we need to know in order to begin in ministry or prepare us for the next level educationally, which would be the MDiv or the MTH or the Master of Arts in Theological Studies, that sort of stuff. Get us primed and ready to go on to either entry-level jobs or the next level of education. I think that Johnson University, formerly Florida Christian College, did an excellent job of getting us primed and ready to go. I have no qualms with our education at all. I think that if you're a preacher and you've just got the bachelor's degree in preaching, that your master's degree should probably be higher level ministerial training rather than business leadership. Now, if you've already got that master's degree, go ahead and knock it out, because it's going to be helpful to you to understand how leadership is done, and you're going to be able to apply that to the ministerial setting, but you will be doing so on the basis of this higher level education that you've already received in your MDiv or whatever. So I would say that of greater value would be graduate level theological training, graduate level practical ministry training. That would be of greater value to the minister before business administration. But if you need business administration after that, then go ahead and do that. Does that make sense to you, right?
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree. Because, I'm just gonna say it this way. I'm just gonna put this out here, Martin. The vast majority of ministers don't have that kind of money to put out for degrees like that. Like the vast majority of us don't get paid to where we can get 3 or 4 different, master's degrees and things like that. I mean, I know I can't. I can't. Okay. I can't go to school. I can't go back to school right now. Part of me doesn't want to go back. But part of me, the other main reason why is I don't have the money to go back, Martin. And I'm not going back in. I'm not going back into debt to do it. I already did it once, and not doing that again. And so I think, for one thing, it's a good, what you said. It's a good it's like your ideal situation. Like if you've got endless funds to do something like this, and you have the time to do that, then go for it. Yeah. But I think the vast majority of ministers don't have that kind of time, and they definitely don't have that kind of funds. Like, that's not something I want to leave my kids as my debt for my student loans and everything. You know, I'd like to leave them something.
I don't think it
more.
works that way.
No, I'm leaving. If I had any debt, I'm going to leave it to them. Which I don't. So
you're going to leave it to them?
I'm leaving.
No, they're going to pay.
They're going to have to pay this. And so
they pay it.
So like, I feel like, you know, as far as like, you know, I feel like the best experience I had in ministry came in ministry. I grew up learning. You know, I grew like the stuff that I learned. You know, if you said. I feel like there were certain things that we could have been taught more in our BA. I think there were certain things that were kind of missing. Some things that were missing in the practical application of stuff. You know, there were things that it was just like it was very vague. And not to mention that when I was in school, like we went through like a transition of professors kind of like changing and moving. Like some professors were getting out of this one topic and some professors were coming in. And so when this happened, you had like, you know, like one professor, you'd been with them for 3-4 years and they were telling you one thing on how to do practical preaching and stuff like that. And then you had another one come in going, no, this isn't how you do it at all. You do it this way, you know? And so like that for me, I was like, I basically said, all right, so this isn't like, you know, for me, I learned, I use some of the stuff. The one thing that I use the most is what I learned in Greek. This is my Greek of how to study Greek and everything. You know, Professor Chambers, you know, those classes were any class I took with Chambers was one of those that was just fantastic. Loved it. Okay. But like the rest of them, I was just kind of like, you know, derp, you know, or like your practical, like you're studying like the minor prophets and things like that, and those Bible classes like that. I love those. Those were great. And I think that for that kind of stuff, it gave me enough to study God's word and study it effectively, I guess, as a preacher, not necessarily as, you know, in personal study, but study it effectively as a preacher. But there was so much practical stuff that I never heard and I never received that I really wish I would have. And so like for me, you know, I'm going on 6 years now, okay, lead pastor at Northeast Christian Church. And I didn't realize everything I didn't know until I got there. I thought it was going to be a whole lot easier than what it actually was. And I wasn't fully prepared at all. And I had been a youth minister for 10 years now, mind you. 10 years I've been in the youth ministry. And so even then, I realized how much I was lacking in everything when it comes to the everyday administration of the church, of the business aspect of it. And so like for me, like when I hear like of a preacher going back to get his master's degree in business, I'm like, yeah, man, go for it. Sounds like a great idea, because I can see that being very beneficial for him for some of the stuff that isn't like for me, like I'm still learning a lot of like the business stuff aspects of it. And I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job at it right now, but at the same time, I really would like to, you know, learn a few other things, you know? So if he's learning how to run a church from the business aspect of it, he's doing it, getting a master's of business association. Is that what it is? Business. Yeah. If he's
business
doing
administration,
business administration, like I see that as, I'm like, you know what? I feel like you're kind of being a little bit more rounded in that, a little bit more well-rounded than just going for all the theological degrees and then like 10 years down the road, let's go ahead and do this business degree. You know, I just see it as that, you know, because from my experiences, you know, as far as like theological and practical, as far as like ministerial care, I feel like that kind of stuff you can learn on the job, and you can actually do a very good job of that on the job. But I think some of the other stuff, I think it can be very beneficial. So I'm not gonna bust him. I think the guy, you know, I got no problem with a preacher that's in the trenches getting a master's of business degree. So I'm cool with that. So
I don't have a problem with it either.
So
I'm just saying that if you're asking me what I think, if you got the choice as a preacher of carrying on your theological education or carrying on or developing business leadership education, that you're going to be better served by the theological education in ministry than by the business education.
Yeah,
That's just.
I don't know. I feel differently on that one. I think he's probably better served with that because first, number one, the young man, the guy is actually in a Christian college doing this master's of business. That's not just a regular college or something like that. And so,
okay, you're talking about like a specific occurrence. I'm talking in generalities. Yeah. So I'm saying
the vast majority, I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing at all. Really, I think it can
I'm
just.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Well, you're not saying it's a good thing. You're saying he's going in the wrong direction. Is what you're saying.
No, I'm not saying he's going in the wrong direction. What I'm saying is that he will be better served. I'm saying that both of these degrees, both of these educations, will serve him well. One of them is going to serve him better than the other.
And the business one is going to serve him better, is what I'm saying.
Why would you say that?
Why would I not? Dude, you have a theological degree, whether it's a bachelor's degree or not, whatever, okay? And who knows? Maybe he went to a college that, equipped him differently than we were, okay? Maybe it's a little bit more than an entry level, okay? Let's just say it. It can happen, Martin, okay? So let's just say,
I don't understand what you're saying because you went through this long thing saying you didn't feel like you were, that our bachelor's degree that we got effectively prepared you for the ministry that you're in.
And it's not so much. Well, first, like I said, I believe that the experiences that I had in ministry have grown me exponentially when it came to theological and ministerial care. Okay? However, I can see one of the areas that, like, for myself, what I see myself lacking in is what this guy is, going to get a degree in. And so I can understand and I can see where I could say, I can see a benefit to that. And I can appreciate somebody going to, because like, what's to say the guy goes, he says, okay, I got a theological degree here. I'm going to get a master's in business right now. And then I get later on, I'm going to get an MDiv, I mean, I don't see an issue with that. I think that right there, splits it up a little bit. And most of us don't. Here's the deal. The vast majority of us have no clue how to run a church when it comes to the business aspect. We can counsel people and we can listen to people, but most preachers have to run the everyday business of a church in and out. And we don't know that kind of stuff. It's just, we don't. We learn that on the job, and it's very painful to learn on the job like that. So I could see a degree like that being extremely beneficial. And I would say he's just, you know what? I won't say that he's better served with the MDiv over the business. Okay. I won't say that. I'll say he's just as well served with that, whether it's either or. I think he's fine no matter what.
Welcome to Intermission. Intermission.
Right. I think you're trying to paint me like I'm saying the MBA is a bad idea. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying... I'm a big fan of higher education.
No, I totally know. Totally know. You won't shut up about it.
I've been to a lot of school. I think you should go to some more school.
Yeah, I know. We've talked about this.
Be well served by it.
We've talked about this multiple times, Martin.
I know, but I edit most of it out.
You should.
Anyway, I think you're trying to paint me as if I'm saying, this guy shouldn't do that. He needs the MDiv.
Well, you feel like he's better served that way. I feel like he's better served the other way. I mean,
I think that...
I really don't think he's better served. I feel like it's just as good of a degree to get than, I don't know.
Okay, here's why I disagree. And this is, once again, it seems like you know who this person is.
No, I don't. I don't know who they are at all.
Okay, here's my take on it. My job as a preacher, the greatest expectation that my congregation has for me is not the running, the day-to-day aspects of the church and the business end of it. They expect me to participate in that and to do some of that. But their primary expectation of me is to be a local theological expert for them and to be able to help them navigate the interpretation of Scripture and the application of Scripture to their particular circumstances. That's why they pay me. They don't pay me to run a nonprofit. They pay me to study these things and learn about the eternal functional subordination of the Son to the Father. Because I suggested we talk about the EFS debate, and we're not going to, but but I can navigate that discussion not because of my Bible college education, but because of my graduate level education. That's why I can navigate it, is because I've learned to think on a deeper level theologically because of those courses that I took, right? And my congregation, maybe your congregation's different, okay? My congregation expects me to be able to navigate those areas. They also want me to be able to execute in the business areas, but if they had to take their pick of which one they wanted me to be an expert in, they would say, we want you to be the expert in the theological rather than the business administration. And I think that's probably the case for most ministerial positions. That might not be the case where you're at.
All right. Here's what I see is, like, I get it and I hear you, but most pastors are going to lose their jobs based on what?
I would say that most pastors lose their job because they are unable to handle conflict.
Okay, no. I think most pastors are going to lose their jobs is because basically there's some money and they didn't know how to handle it. And they didn't know how to make wise business decisions. I think a lot of it has to do with that. I came across a church just recently who a pastor hired a full staff of full-time members, full-time guys. All right. Had 3 full-time guys. And he's a church smaller than yours. Okay. He ran up like $60,000 in debt in less than a year. Homeboy is fired. Now, to you and I, total tard. Okay. The guy's stupid. Okay. I agree.
Yeah.
We both agree with that. But what I see is, like, I see that as much as, like, the congregation sits there and is like, yeah, we want, and they do want us to be theological experts in our fields. And I agree with that. They do want that. But we have to be very well balanced to provide everything. Okay. Because in a congregation our size, what happens to a lot of guys like us is they go, man, we really love you and everything, and we appreciate everything you do, but we can't afford to pay you anymore. It happens to a lot of guys, and it's not just, it has to do with the broader scope of ministry, in my opinion. And like, as much as they sit back and like, yeah, we want you to do that, we have to be more than that. We have to, in a sense. I know that I have felt that in my ministry. And now I'm at a point right now in my ministry where they're allowing me to be that, to be the guy that teaches, that preaches, that counsels, that mentors. I am allowed to be that right now. But for a very long time, I had to build up to that. I had to get to that somehow. And it was from different things that I've had to learn as far as like the business end of the ministry. Because there is a business end to the ministry. And we have to understand it. And we have to be wise in all that. And so I look at something like that and I go, I could see a very beneficial thing to that, and a guy doing that. And I think it's cool. I think I like that. I like that where a guy's trying to be very, very well rounded, but I think that a lot of guys like me, sometimes, we get into situations, we don't know what we're doing when it comes to things like business and stuff. And because, like, seriously, I'm going to be honest with you. 6 years ago, I knew what I was getting into. I feel like I have a much better handle on it right now, like much better handle, like exponential handle, but that's through the fire, dude. That's like through the trenches and everything. I'm not meaning to make you sound like I'm not trying to make you sound like a D-bag. I'm really not, but I realize you see the benefit of both of them and everything like that. But, I don't know. I feel like as far as me, I'll probably do, when I do go back, because I'll go back. I told you I'll go back to school eventually. Probably be on my deathbed, but we'll see. But yeah, when I go back, it'll probably be in like theological studies. It probably will be, because that's where I've grown myself, I feel like I'm pretty well balanced that I can go ahead and do something like that, and then it'll help me to grow in that area. Now, for him, I can totally see, like a couple of years ago, seriously, 4-5 years ago, I'd be like, no, if I go back to school for anything, it's going to be for this. And I could see myself very easily doing something like business, very easily, because it was such a stressor. It was such I felt like I had a handle on things in the pulpit. I felt like I had a handle on things when it came to teaching and explaining the gospel and helping people to understand the Bible. I felt like I had a good handle on that. But that other area, did not have a handle on that at all. So 5 years ago, I'd be like, yeah, please bring it on. So maybe this guy doesn't, and I think that's the situation. Maybe the guy doesn't feel like he has a good handle on that area of his life.
We're talking general. We're approaching this from two totally different perspectives.
We have to, Martin, because whoever this poor guy is, he's going to school for a crappy degree.
Look, if we don't straighten this guy out soon,
this poor guy,
the whole world's
this poor guy is going to school. He's an old man like you and I, and he's in school again. And that right there sucks. It's seriously, man, you don't want to be that.
School is the worst.
School is the worst. Like, don't tell that to your kids or anything like that, but boy, does it suck. Can we just, I know you liked it, but I didn't like school, Martin. Like, when I go back, it's going to be like, pretty much hell is thrown over.
As an adult, man.
Hell is frozen over.
As an adult.
You say that, but I was kind of an adult when I went to school the first time. I was older than you.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was. How old are you, Martin?
I'm 37.
I'm 38. I'm older than you. Look at that. Bam, in your face.
Look, don't stand there and tell me. Don't stand there and try and tell me that you were an adult when you were in Bible college. You were a kid just like me.
I was a kid. But I was
all right then.
Significantly older. I was like by 4 years older than most of the kids in my class, which was really awkward. Me and Brian, you remember Brian Hale?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that guy. That guy was old and in school. That guy was really old.
Wasn't that
He was
old?
Pretty old.
What was he in his later 20s?
He's probably in his, he's in his 30s when he was in school. But
good on
dude,
him,
I hung out with him the entire time. I was like, hey, dude, we got to hang out. He's like, yeah, man. So I connected with him better than I connected with anybody else. So, because at that time I'd been in school for 3.5 years already, and so I transferred in, and I was like, it's a bunch of 18-year-olds I'm in school with. This sucks. So, because it did. That was my experience.
So what's the answer? Go ahead and get the schooling if you want it.
Get the schooling if you want it. Yeah.
I think that's the answer.
I think the answer is, me personally, for a preacher, I don't care what it is. If you feel like you're in a stage of your life and in your ministry where you can go back to school for anything, as long as honestly, the guy didn't go back to school going, listen, he's not going to get a master's in business and be like, just whatever, just do it. Whatever. No, he's obviously thought, hey, I think this would really benefit my life and my ministry. So, yeah, go for it, man. Do you really think he was just like, no, I guess I'll get a master's in business? Who does that? Wait, did you do that, Martin, when you did your first master's?
No. The MBA is the default. I need to get a master's. What am I going to get? I'll get MBA. That's like general studies. But Look. I don't know why you're being all weird about this.
I'm not being weird.
It seems like it seems like you're unnecessarily aggressive.
I'm not.
I'm not.
I think you're
sure
reading into things, dude. I think you're.
And I think that
are you being sensitive?
I think that you're applying a little bit of transference onto this whole situation.
I'm just trying to empathize. I'm trying to empathize with this guy. I'm trying to feel what he's feeling. You know what I'm feeling? You know what I'm saying? No? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm trying to feel what he's feeling and understand what he's understanding. Yeah, I don't care. You can call it whatever you want, nerd.
Saying,
okay?
Listen. You're sitting there and you're thinking back to when you stepped into the pulpit after Jeff left, where you inherited kind of a hot mess.
We're not allowed to say his name. We're not allowed to say his name. You're going to have to beep that out, okay?
No, you're not allowed to say his name.
I can say whatever I want to. Jeff. Suck it, Martin.
Jeff.
So.
I don't have a problem with Jeff. You have the problem with Jeff. Get over your problem with Jeff.
I'm totally fine with that guy. He still doesn't talk to me.
Here's what I think. Well, that's sad, and that makes me sad. So
get over it, Martin.
I'm getting over it.
You pansy.
Yeah. Anyway, I think you're thinking back to that time where you really would have benefited from getting an MBA because you felt unprepared for some of the responsibilities that, frankly, you probably shouldn't have been shouldering all on your own. Somebody should have had an idea of what was going on business-wise there before you stepped into that spot. Right? But you inherited a mess. And I get that. And I get why you're feeling this issue so personally. Me, I didn't inherit a mess like that. I inherited a theological mess.
Yeah.
That I frankly feel like I'm well prepared to handle. It's just going to take me a long time to straighten it out.
Like 20 plus years?
That's my plan. Yeah, it's going to take more than 20 years to handle the theological mess that my congregation's in. And, you know, most of them can't make it to the end of the podcast, so I don't mind mentioning it. They're going to hear 20 minutes on Pokemon and drop right out.
These stupid guys again. These two turds. What's that bearded turd talking about this week? Pokemon. Oh, frippity frap.
So yeah, I can understand why you're big on the MBA, and I also see why I'm big on the theological education, because frankly, my whole philosophy of ministry is probably a little different from yours anyway.
Different areas. We're in different congregations.
Right. So it's going to be different, and my expectations are different from yours, and that's all right. Mm-hmm. It's okay for us to disagree. But you want to go get you an MBA, man, go get you one. For not you. I don't care what you do.
Hey, I will get whatever I want. You don't tell me what to do, Martin. I'll do whatever I want. So
obviously.
So the answer to your question, Alyssa, is what do we think about preachers getting an MBA? That was the specific question. And we're both okay with it, you know. Martin thinks that maybe he might benefit from getting another theological degree. He might benefit more, where I feel like he probably benefits just as much from getting this one before another. Who knows? The guy might have like 6 theological degrees. We never know. So I really feel like we need more information about this individual.
Nah, we can just say it in generalities. It's cool.
Okay. Yeah. I really want to get to know this guy. I'm gonna.
Let's see if he has a beard before we get to know him.
Good call. I'll ask Alyssa if the gentleman has a beard, and if she says no, I will say, tell him to grow a beard and then call me. Okay? Can I do that?
Right, because we want to talk to him because we haven't argued for since cereal. So
we're never allowed to talk about cereal again. We can't say cereal.
Have you heard about what season 3 is going to be about?
No, I haven't. What is it?
Oh, man. It's going to be about, I guess there's this band that goes around and plays, and there's this big mystery about who the various members of the band are. It's like this whole incognito thing.
Yeah?
and they're going to go and they're going to figure out who the band members are. It sounds like it's going to be really cool.
Really?
But they had the chance to do the Bergdahl thing, so they jumped on it.
Yeah, what's the band's name?
I don't know.
Oh, I really want to know.
Yeah, me too.
When does it start?
I have no idea.
You're such a tease. You're such a podcast tease. What's wrong with you? Are we going to fight about that too?
No. Why do we always end up talking about other people's podcasts instead of how awesome ours is?
I haven't listened to a lot of podcasts lately since I've gotten the Spotify. Since I've gotten Spotify,
Well, here's something cool about our podcast.
Yeah,
we're going to be on iHeartRadio.
We are. I hear a lot about that.
Right, that's a new thing. Libsyn has a deal with them.
Cool.
That we can get on that, which is cool. And we're going to start to publish all of our episodes on YouTube as well.
Oh,
so that's fun.
That's cool.
So, Two Bearded Preachers podcast YouTube channel. We'll start with this one right here.
Martin.
Yeah.
We're almost 1 year old, dude.
I know it, man. We're getting old.
10 more weeks, dude, and we've done it. And then we quit, right? No, we're not quitting. We're not?
I don't think so.
I thought you told me we were going to do 52 weeks and then we're done.
I said that if we get on this other host, that we're doing it for at least 52 weeks. And I think it's gone pretty well.
Okay.
I don't think there's any reason to shut her down.
Nah, man, I think we're doing good. I like it.
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah. I like it too. So.
Besides, I want to do it at least as long as it takes for Instinct to get some credibility in the Pokemon world.
That's right.
At least that.
I get you. Credibility. We're gonna
chicken wing
right here. We'll get the.
We get made fun of so much in the Georgia Pokemon Go Facebook.
Everybody,
page. Man, yes.
Everybody is all like Valor. This is the best, and I kind of want to be like, well, yeah, Valor's great if you want to be in a team with a bunch of douchebags. That's what I want to say. And then they're like, then you hear like the Mystics, and they're like, Mystics are so great, and I'm like, yeah, Mystics great if you want to be in a team with a bunch of pansies. And they're like, Instinct is where it's at. I'm like, amen. Preach on. Preach on.
Dude, the Georgia, because you added me to the Florida.
Yeah, I totally didn't realize that. I didn't realize it was a Florida when I added you to it. My bad, dude.
Yeah. I saw that, and I stayed in it for a little while, and then I got disappointed because Jesse had way better Pokemon than me, like, out of the gate.
He does.
Like, instantaneous.
Yeah, he's got really good... He's a total gaming nerd, which means he's never going to get married. Don't tell him I said that. You're going to have to cut this out of the podcast. I'm pretty sure Jesse doesn't listen, but if he did, I don't want him to hear that. But seriously, dude, you're going to need to put down the video games if you're ever going to get a girl, okay?
He can find a Pokemon Go girl player. Set up some lures around the Pokestop she frequents and spit game that way. I think it'll work.
Hey girl, you come to this Pokestop often? Seriously? Oh, I just put this lure down. Look at this fresh catch I just caught. I'm gonna reel you in, girl. Gonna reel you in with this lure. What is that, man? I hope he doesn't do that. This is absurd.
Hey, man.
That's absurd.
It's a brave new world. Whatever works. Just get the job done.
Hope he finds.
Well, Justin, I think we're about done for the evening.
Because I just yawned? Yeah.
Because you just yawned really big, and everything that's being said right now is absolutely hilarious to me.
That's how you know when we're done. If it's really funny.
Yeah. Because I know when I'm listening to it tomorrow and editing it, it's not going to be nearly as funny. But I'll be like, man, why am I laughing so much? Let me take all that out.
And you can tell when we start doing the little girl giggles.
Yeah.